I want to talk about Letterman and everything that goes on.
That was a great
Thank you.
Great appearance.
People seem to really like the Letterman appearance. You know me. I went home. I got so many beautiful emails from fans, and I'll read you some. And beautiful emails from some famous people that, really meant a lot to me. Stamos wrote me that Don Rickles called him about my appearance. Don Rickles didn't call me, he called Stamos.
I don't have your number.
Well, but, I got to tell you, Don Rickles, for me, this is just my thing and my age and when I grew up, means everything to me. If Don Rickles would even think I was decent on a talk show, that would mean, complete validation for me. Better than getting a check mark next to my name on tweet.
Really? Better than being verified?
Better, almost as good as the day I was verified, which will go down in history. I'm telling you, people were tweeting me, "Oh my God, you were verified. This is the fastest anyone's been verified." I was like, "Wow." But Stamos, and I don't know. I didn't get much information from Stamos. He's a bit withholding.
What about the Rickles?
The Rickles conference. It means a lot to me to know that Don Rickles watched me on Letterman.
Right.
And, he wrote and he said, "I got a call from Don. I'm suspecting it's about you. I'm going to call him back."
Oh, God. So he previewed it for you.
Yeah. And then and I was waiting all day. I didn't hear from him. And he goes, "Oh, I just got off the phone with Don 45 minutes. He was fascinated by loved your Letterman appearance and was fascinated by how you could make fun of Jay Leno like that, or it's all I'm like, Don
God,
Rickles.
You need the direct.
I needed direct validation, but
Stamos is keeping Don to himself because he could have said, "You know what? I'm going to have Don call you."
Yeah,
or
no.
Or conference him or something.
He's holding on to Don Rickles.
He's keeping that.
He's holding on to that Don Rickles like it's his life depended on it. Don't ask. But, and a lot of this, my memories of what happened with Letterman and stuff will come out throughout the show because I don't remember everything right off the bat. But I got all these emails, and John Stamos was one of them. And then, Sarah Silverman hit me up on that Twitter in a private message and said, "Oh, my God, you were great on Letterman. I watched it twice." That meant a lot to me. And then Jimmy Kimmel tweeted and also wrote me privately saying that he thought it was the best talk show appearance he's ever seen out of anyone, anywhere. Very Rickles-esque, he said, this and that. And that made me feel really good because then it was picked up in some articles that Howard Stern was so good on Letterman that Letterman's rivals complimented the show. Something like that. It was very gracious of Jimmy to do that. I felt really good. And the sad thing is I came home from Letterman thinking, oh, it was terrible.
Again?
Yeah, because I went, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And then but then I watched it. I got into bed. I fell asleep. Well, that was the other weird thing with that whole thing. So I guess I'd said on Letterman, Dave, I apologize, and we should get back on track by calling each other. And so after the appearance, Beth and I went out to dinner. And we didn't know what we were going to do. I wanted to just go home, and then she said to me, let's get something to eat. And I was just, I don't know.
Sometimes you need to decompress.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So we went out to dinner, and I get a frantic message from Vinny. "Howard, where are you? Dave's trying to call you." So I said, "I'm at dinner." He goes, "All right, Dave has a meeting. Dave's going to call you at 8:30, which was good because I'd be home by 8:30. I was like, "Oh, great, okay."
All done.
And then I get home and I listen to my messages, and on the messages, Dave's assistant. "Dave is trying to call you,
Well, she's having no trouble. What's Dave's problem?
I don't know. It's exactly. What is this move with everybody using the assistant to call people? I don't get it.
And then
I don't do that at all.
That's good, because that's ridiculous. Hold on for...
Well, there's a guy I'm thinking of, a big executive that I go out with a lot of times. And he does the same move. And, I almost feel like calling him aside and saying, "I know you're a big shot, but, dude, pick up the phone and call me yourself." It's not like I haven't accomplished a few things.
Right.
I know it's a power
if I call
thing.
you, I expect to get your assistant And then she transferred. But if you're calling me, why am I talking to the assistant?
Yeah, don't call me with your assistant. Better you don't. And then his wife started calling me with the same assistant, and I'm like, you gotta fucking be kidding me. I don't call people back when they call with the assistant. So I kept my phone on the hook. It was 8:30, and I was ready to go to bed. I had had a couple of glasses of wine at dinner after Letterman, and I just was going to sleep. Beth said, try and stay up till at least 9. Dave's going to call you. It'll be a nice thing. So I waited till about 9 o'clock, and I said, honey, I just want to go to sleep. And besides, what is with the assistants? I mean, Dave has my number. He can call me all weekend if he really wants to get in touch with me. And so I went to bed, and then the next morning the assistant was on the phone. David Letterman is trying to call you, and I'm like, what? Like even Beth said to me, what is it? What is it? The King of Siam trying to call you? I mean,
is it the president?
One of the things
he's got Egypt on one line, and he's got you.
One of the things I've learned: do things for yourself, and you will feel empowered and grown up. It's a huge thing. Well,
it's putting a layer between you and everyone else.
You don't need an assistant to make calls. I mean, okay, if Dave, maybe if Dave has to call his plumber and the guy's on call and it's hard to get a hold of him, okay, I understand he's a busy guy. But, I've just done your show. You want to speak to me personally, give me a fucking buzz, bro.
Yeah, if it's business, let's keep it during the day, 9 to 5. Yeah. Don't bother me.
And I was excited to hear from Dave because, again, I really like Dave, and I do feel bad about the fact that I betrayed him by talking about our private stuff, and I've learned my lesson. I don't do that to people. Dave told me some things during the broadcast, quite frankly, that I would never reveal.
It was funny because after that one diatribe where you said, you found the one thing, you found something that you could enjoy at work, and then you had to they took it away. Yeah. It went right to commercial.
Right.
And I was like, oh, God, what's happening in that break?
No, in fact, we had a really personal conversation about some stuff.
Yeah?
And it was highly personal, and I'm going to keep that to myself.
All right, I'll talk to you about it after.
Well, I'll tell you. No. So, no, it was really personal, and I thought it was very special that he could confide in me. And, it was very, very nice. And I enjoyed doing the show, and thank God he beat Leno in the ratings,
Yes.
And that was I got that word the next day. But I never heard from Dave again. I never hear from the whole weekend because I guess his assistant's off and she can't make the call for him. So,
jeez.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I'm just thinking he needs therapy, too.
Oh, he does. He really, really does. And then in my conversation with Dave, I said to him, how much longer are you going to do this? And he said, probably 2 years. That was all over the news that David Letterman was announcing his retirement.
Right.
Rob Burnett, the executive producer, he had to go issue a statement that Dave was only joking, which I don't think he was.
I don't know.
But
I think maybe he was talking about the end of his contract.
It made a lot of news, that whole appearance between Regis. And I was just like, well, that was my intention, to go out there and promote the fact that we're on the Sirius phone. Did I do better promoting that we're on the phone?
I thought it was just, it was very swift. It really, you didn't get a chance to explain it.
I don't know what it is with that Letterman show, but you don't feel like you have a second.
Because he sort of
brushed over
gave you the, here we go. I was like, you just killed on a show for...
Yeah, give me a plug.
3 breaks. Give him a plug.
Yeah, he won't do it. And then after, usually Rob Burnett, the executive producer, who I'm actually friendly with, we actually have dinner together and stuff. But we've sort of been out of touch for about a year. And, I did say Rob was busy directing a movie and stuff.
Right.
So usually after my Letterman appearances, Rob will write me an email, a really nice kind of detailed email when he thinks an appearance was good. And he did send me an email, and he was like, wow, it was a great show. And that was it. It was very brief. So I don't know if he was...
Do you think that you hit a nerve?
Maybe I did. Some people told me who are on the inside that I think that I might have hit a nerve. I didn't realize Dave was upset that Rob's directing a movie.
I got that impression even when you went over to the band.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Paul, I got to tell you something. Before my appearance, I was back in the dressing room. And Beth was with me. Robin was there. And I know you were being very respectful, and you were like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going down to the green room. But I really wanted you to stay. I was enjoying having you there.
Oh.
But, which I said to you, Robin, stay. But you, of course.
I thought you were just being polite because you had said that you didn't like a lot. And, you know,
trust me,
enough.
I'm not polite. Not when it comes to that. So anyway, but then I walked out. I like to see what's going on. I'm walking around, and I run into some girl who works at Letterman. Really good-looking girl, too. I was like, I wonder if Dave put the moves on her. And I'm talking to her, and we're both looking at the monitor, and Paul Schaefer was, like, setting up or something, and I go, she goes to me, oh, can you believe how many keyboards he has there? I go.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah, right. And I go, yeah, there's like 8 of them. I said, I'm going to bring that up.
I don't even, he's in a cave almost. Yeah. He's surrounded.
Does he really need 8 keyboards?
How can you play 8?
I mean, what is going on?
And they're playing little snippets of songs.
Yeah. Well, actually, during the breaks, they play the whole song.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's a great show. In fact, that show is maybe better than the actual David Letterman show.
The show inside the show.
There's a female lead singer. She's singing at the top of her lungs. She's terrific.
She plays the guitar? Or is that another one?
I don't know, but she sings, and she's really good. And they do a whole concert for the audience. And I went, wow, that's a shame. Nobody gets to hear it, because we were all sitting there watching going, this is really good. But anyway, so I don't know, there was a million things happening there. So, you know, I'm walking around and everything, and then I had this thought before I went on. I go, you know, maybe Paul's the fucking problem why they can't beat Jay Leno. I was like, what I mean, really, what I mean, he too with those books. I mean, what is Paul Schaefer writing about? I haven't been this surprised by a book since They Call Me Baba Booey. And then, you know, and I said, and then he goes to that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I don't know. He's doing backup for,
you know. That takes some rehearsal. You got to know all the songs.
Yeah.
That takes time.
He's busy practicing Schools Out and the music of 3 black guys who you never heard of. Right. And I'm like, well, you're not number 1. Why are you? But I thought Paul was like, yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I gotta get fired up. And Dave gets very shook up when I mention weed too.
Really?
Well, I go, Paul,
he's
high all the time.
Yeah. He started to defend him. He said, no.
Right. But I actually, if you know, I would actually really like to go back there and actually get those questions answered. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what was really funny was Paul was agreeing with you when you were talking about Rob Burnett. Right. And then when you turned on him, he was like, whoa.
Yeah, but he didn't know I had him next. I had him all lined up.
Right. Yeah. He was like, yeah, you're right.
I was really not gonna bring up Dave's sex scandal either, but I was doing the pre-interview, and I started to say a few things, and the producers were all laughing hysterically. So I went, what the fuck? They're laughing.
You know, when we were sitting, I was sitting with Beth and Vinny.
Well, Beth had told me for a month, do not bring up the sex scandal. It's wrong, this and that. And like we had our first argument really.
Well, she said we actually had words about it.
We were running. On Saturdays, we run at least 4 miles. And then we were in the middle of a run. It was freezing out, I remember. And she started in with me about how it was wrong and you really shouldn't do it. And by the way, I ran the material. I was telling her some of my material, and she was going, it's not funny. And I said, you got to stop this. I said, you're making me doubt myself. I say it is funny, and I'm going to be doing it. You're doing the wrong thing. I said, stop. You've got to stop, because this is fucking my head up.
But then you came on here and you said you weren't going to do it.
Well, fuck it. I got out there and it got the better of me.
Because we were all like, oh my God, he said he wasn't going to do this.
Well, I thought I'd handled it appropriately.
Oh, it was hysterical back there where we were. Because Beth's mouth dropped open. She was like,
well, we got into bed. And I knew I must have been good because she fucked my brains out. And we got into bed and she goes, oh, that stuff was funny.
It was. Yeah, I mean, she couldn't help but laugh. We were all laughing but gasping at the same time, because it was sort of like we didn't expect it, because you said right here, well, I've learned that I shouldn't do things like that. And why do I always have to go there?
Well, I was assessing the situation while I was out there. And I said, let me bring this up. There's ways of doing it.
It was funny because then I tweeted about it after I left the studio, and I was like, "Oh, this is must-watch television." Howard talks about everything.
Yeah, they gave me a lot of time. The first segment was 10 minutes. The second segment
that was a long one.
was 4 minutes, and then the third segment was over 8 minutes. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but
it
for
was
some
great
reason,
because it had a nice flow to it. It was like
fun.
You were shot out of a cannon, and then you calmed down, and like you had some real conversation. It was great.
Yeah, I had a nice time. Maybe I'll go back in 5 years. And then Jimmy Kimmel said all those nice things about it, and I was like, oh, no, I'm doing Jimmy's show, and I hope, I'm doing it over satellite.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
right.
and I'm doing it over satellite, and I really wish I was in Jimmy's studio, but I'm not going to be. And then I'm doing Jimmy Fallon. He wrote me an email saying that he really loved it, and he wrote a bit for me for when I'm on, and I go, well, he goes, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Now I'm like, well, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he has some really good bits on his show.
I don't like doing bits.
I know, but if it's something really good.
Hey, Dan. Sorry, I'm yentering it up with Robin, but I've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, no problem. I feel like I do too. Letterman was hysterical. You were absolutely brilliant.
Thanks.
How much of a pain in the ass was Vinny before the show trying to get you to tweet? Your tweets, by the way, were perfect. It was a perfect amount of tweets. And thank you very much for the tweets of Beth. I mean, those were pretty damn good pictures.
Yeah, I should show you. There's the pictures of Beth. Look at these pictures I tweeted.
Wow.
That's a good one, right? Now,
oh, my God.
I made a big deal because those were the proofs. Like, in other words, they're not retouched or anything. Because that's a good one. I tweeted that. Show the other one, too, to Robin. Beth's in hot shape. There's 2 more, I think.
I think that's all we have, Howard.
Oh, there's 2 more on there if you find
All right, we're looking.
Okay. Anyway, with the tweeting, what happened was, so I get to Letterman, and Vinny's fucking hocking me. You got to tweet, you got to tweet. I go, Vin, every second I'm tweeting, because don't forget, I'd never used my cell phone, my new Android, for anything other than, the basics. I said, I don't know how to tweet. I don't know what. No, you got to tweet, you got to tweet, you got to tweet. Oh, there's another one. Did you see these, Benj? I was tweeting up a storm.
This one I fucking...
What did you do?
Jesus.
I didn't... I always thought
picture?
Beth was hot. I didn't realize she was that curvy. It's like fucking hot as hell.
I love her.
I do too, man. I love her.
I do. I just love her.
Benji does too now.
This photo is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's on my tweet. If people sign up and follow me, they can get those pictures.
I think he's going to cry.
See, I think that's my favorite. Right there.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to tell you, down in the green room where I was watching you, it was, there must have been about 20 people in there.
Oh, were there? It seems like there was chaos and mass pandemonium. By the way,
there was a whole lineup out in the hall of the dressing room when I went in there, because not everybody was in the dressing room. So there was this line of people outside. And then, I went down to the green room to watch, and it was like a party in there.
Well, now you can see why it's so much pressure to do a Letterman appearance. It's like a fucking rock show going on out there. You should see what's going on. Then when I was walking back in, I saw that band Naughty by Nature. I ran into them, and I wanted to sound like, I was with it. So I go, hey, dudes, what's happening? They're like, hey, Howard, man, what's happening, man? I'm shaking their hands, bro style with the,
Right.
I go, hey, boys, why so long between albums? What's going on? Meanwhile, they probably, who knows?
They probably had 20. One out last week. Yeah, I saw them too, but we had so many people, they had trouble getting through.
Yeah.
You have quite an entourage.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, I don't know, it was good. I liked having Beth there because Beth used to work at Letterman's show. And Biff must really be taken with...
He stayed in there the whole time. I don't know how he's working.
Well, Biff must be really taken with Beth because they were friends from when she used to work there. And Biff came... I'm up on like a 3rd or 4th floor situation, or 5th floor.
You were on the 5th floor,
I'm on a 5th floor in a dressing room. I never saw Biff come up to the dressing room before. He goes, I want to come up and say hi to your beautiful wife. And then he was in there a while.
Well, I'm telling you, he never left the green room. He was in there too.
Oh, was he? With Beth?
Well, yeah. Once she...
Well...
And he was telling jokes.
I think Biff was in there actually in that green room because they had a camera ready to take a picture of her if I started talking about her.
Yeah, but he could come in and out.
Oh, I see.
He stayed once Beth came back.
Yeah. There was a lot of Beth commotion.
Yeah, and then he started entertaining. He started telling jokes, and, you know, he said, if these wind up on the air, I'll know where they came from. You better give me attribution. He was a character.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. It was crazy. Marianne from Brooklyn showed up at Letterman like she normally does. It was freezing out that day. And so she shows up, and Vinny got her in to watch the show, got her a seat.
Oh, wonderful.
Which was great because, you know, she's such a super fan. And then afterwards I go out and I'm signing some autographs from people out there, although most of them were professional autograph people. I could tell that. And I see Marianne. I go to hug her. She was all freaked out, like it was the Beatles or something. She was surprised that I was willing to hug her.
Well, she suffers from delusions, like she's never met you.
I know, it's weird. I don't know. The whole thing was, you know what? And it takes me forever, a whole weekend, to decompress from that.
But you should have been elated because it was such an incredible appearance.
I shouldn't say it was fun. It wasn't fun, but
no, but you did an incredible job. You mastered talk show, and everybody should know that's what you need to do when you go out there. You don't just go out and, you know, sit there like a lump.
Hey, Marianne.
Howard, it was your best appearance ever, and I regret not hugging you because I know you're germphobic and I freaking panicked. But I was there at 2 o'clock with all the fans. Howard, there was a lot of fans. Not only autographed, there were true fans, even on the line. And TSS Taylor sent me stuff, and I handed it out for the audience, all serious stuff about you, T-shirts and stuff. And then...
I love her, but I can't stand listening to her.
Tweet it.
Could have tweeted, baby. No, she's a doll. She really is.
She is.
Believe it or not, she's actually attractive.
She's a gorgeous woman. That voice, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Weird. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Anyway, here's Vinny. Hey, Vinny. So I didn't finish the story. So I'm backstage at Letterman. I get there, sign a couple autographs, blah, blah, blah. Get inside. Vinny starts with me. You've got to tweet. You've got to tweet. You've got to tweet. I said, Vinny, I've never done it. Give me your phone. I'll tweet. I go, no. You're not tweeting with my phone. I don't want you touching my fucking phone. You're the guy who rubs himself on video tapes to your wife. Oh, Debbie. We were talking about that before Vinny came, and we were all sitting there and we go,
I caught myself.
if you met some guy
I'll save that for you.
who made you a video like Vinny's, wouldn't you head for the hills? Every woman in my dressing room said we would head for the hills.
Absolutely.
No, there were phone calls that preceded those videos, long, loving phone calls.
Whatever.
And were you the same kind of guy in the phone calls as on the tapes?
No. The phone call, I don't know what that video was. I don't know what was that.
So anyway, so Vinny starts with me. You got to tweet a picture from backstage. I said, not only have I not worked my camera.
You haven't worked the...
Yeah, you know, I mean, a little bit. The camera's a little complicated. But anyway, so I said, all right, I'm going to tweet. So now I'm sitting in the makeup chair, and I'm going to tweet. And I'm sitting there torn because I'm like, you know, here's Vinny. He's a guy who works on Letterman's show. Every minute I'm preoccupied with this tweeting. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do on Letterman. And I said, Vinny, I want to spend my time thinking about Letterman and what I want to say out there.
Right.
No, you have to tweet. You have to tweet.
Well, it's all part of the appearance now.
But Vinny, do you need to bother him in the dressing room?
So anyway, we figured it out. I set up the tweet, and I tweeted something. I don't even know what I said. I said, I'm backstage with Vinny driving
I know you
nuts.
tweeted a picture.
And then I took a picture of me in the makeup chair with Vinny over my shoulder.
You're the only one not in the picture, by the way.
Yeah, I know, because I wasn't doing that on purpose. I was taking it into the mirror.
Right.
So the camera's blocking my face. So I tweeted a picture from back there, and Vinny was beside himself. His little chubby body, although now he's thin.
Yes.
He was just beside himself. And it's annoying because Vinny has the biggest head I've ever seen on a human being. And he's all face. And he's smiling. So I go, it wouldn't even matter how the Letterman show was. Hey, Vin, describe to me what goes on with Dave. Because it was clear Dave wanted to talk to me after the show. Because
definitely. Yeah.
All I know is you're frantically calling me to get a hold of me. His assistant is calling. Why doesn't Dave pick up the phone and just call me? He knows my number.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah, but it's the same number.
You have it.
But it's the same number the assistant called.
Well, yeah, but no, it's wildfire, and no one knows what that is.
All they got to do is say, put the call through.
Well, so they called me, and I was on the bus. I couldn't talk, and I'm freaking out like shit. Now I got to make this phone call happen.
Yeah, poor Vinny's now
He's
trying
on the bus.
I'm on the bus whispering, you know, and it was really creepy. And then finally...
Well, I kept my phone on till about 9 o'clock, but Dave didn't call till 9:30, and I was asleep. And then I figured, he'll call me over the weekend. He's got my number.
But then got a call like he was just out the door, and I'm like, no, tell him not to leave. Let me do this. And then I called again. And because Wildfire knows who I am, because they don't know if he calls. Wildfire doesn't know their voice.
Yeah, I've got the service on my phone, Wildfire. Transfers the calls to wherever I am.
Yeah.
A robot voice picks up and goes, "Hi, I'm Wildfire. Do you want to speak to Howard?" And you just say yes. And it says, "Okay, do you want me to put the call through?" And you go, "Yes." I mean, Dave can handle that.
She doesn't do that. Even with me, she goes, "Wait, I'm
going to try and find him."
And then she goes, no, she makes me wait. She goes, the robot.
She makes you wait to find me.
No, then she goes, would you like me to learn your voice? Like, she pauses. There's a long time between.
No.
And I don't want you to learn
I'm going to get
my
rid of
voice.
that then.
Through,
because if people are having that much trouble, I think it's pretty easy. I've called people who have Wildfire.
I felt like there was a gun to my head in the caucus ticket, and this robot keeps on asking me questions. And I'm
just say no and just fucking put the call through.
I did, but there's like a long pause. Anyway, I'm sorry it didn't happen, but hopefully you guys will talk today.
Yeah, well, anyway.
What time should he be by?
Yeah, I mean, like the whole production. It's like, I got to tell you something, and tell Dave this for me. I make my own calls. It's tremendously liberating, and it takes you out of that weird loop where you have 20 people involved with you.
I'm sure he makes his own phone calls. He probably doesn't, he probably figures you have this organization as well.
No, I don't have any organization. I have a answering machine that basically forwards the calls to wherever I am.
Right.
It goes to my cell phone. It goes to my home. It goes to my, wherever I am. If I'm at work. You can reach me anytime on one number. But I don't know. It's such a production.
It happened the last time, too, you were on. I was like, oh, God.
So what did Dave want to say? You can tell me. Save him the call.
I'm sure he just wanted to thank you. And Howard, it was such a great appearance.
Did Dave talk to Vinny? I don't think so.
No, Dave doesn't talk to Vinny. The assistant gets a hold of Vinny and says, Howard, get a hold of him.
He blinks twice. No.
It's like, I said, gee, how do I get in that position where everyone gets nervous when I'm going to make one single phone call? Vinny's in a panic.
5 people call to tell you the call is coming.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, wow, I just don't play this whole showbiz celebrity thing the right way. I'm an asshole. I just basically
get ready.
And I felt like I let everyone down. I couldn't deliver on the phone call.
And Vinny, I wish I could play you his message. He was in a panic. He was like, he goes, please, Dave is calling at 8:30. Please, just, if you could just be there, please.
Vinny was going to be a hero.
Yeah, Vinny needed to come through. Because this is the first time in 10 years Dave's asked Vinny to do anything.
You guys just spoke like for 20 minutes on national TV, but that's not enough.
Well, I would have liked to have spoken. In fact, I had 3 things that I wanted to talk to him about, private things that I wanted to tell him. But well, private stuff.
That would look serious, by the way, when you took your glasses off and you're like, I want to apologize. That felt real.
Well, it was real. And he spoke to me during the commercials about something very real, and that's why I wanted to get back to him.
And the breaks are so short now because they just get right back to the show.
Yeah, but I like that.
Yeah, they weren't the long pauses they used to have.
Well, they used to actually go black for as long as the commercial was.
Yeah.
Now they just go. Of course, that makes sense. I mean, I went out there and had about 10 things written down on a piece of paper I wanted to get to. You could see me looking at it during the commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, let's see, maybe I'll talk about this. See, usually the host has something written down on a piece of paper he wants to ask you. I don't wait for that.
It was funny because Letterman even pointed out, gee, I didn't even have to show up today.
You want to hear Beth do some Yiddish? Quickly.
My tuchus feels very fat right now. My boyach is growing by the minute because I just ate a whole bunch of cashews.
Right.
And I'm schwitzing because it's very hot in the car.
There you go. All right, I'm leaving this back here, honey. You have my phone, right?
And I'm your shiksa goddess.
Right. Not bad. Hey now.
Thanks for resigning, Howard. We love you, man. Howard, congratulations on signing. Make sure you tell Letterman, Howard. Congratulations, Howard.
You gotta remind me, I gotta promote that.
Yeah, you have to, Howard. Tell him that he's the pro this guy's listening to outside. I love you, Howard.
I gotta go in.
Thanks, Howard. Howard.
Movie poster, Howard.
I gotta go.
Howard, the photograph.
Howard, you're holy stuff.
gotta look.
I love you, Howard. Watch. I was inside.
All right, go. Hey, guys, here's the pen.
I want to say goodbye to all Howard TV fans, and glad you were able to come along somewhat. Back there, the Letterman treats that place very lockdown. You know, you can't. I wish I could have brought you guys all the way upstairs, but all right. See you later.